Okay, you got your iMRS well fit, complete, or professional, and now you want to set it up and start your first pulsed electromagnetic field session. That's easy and fast to do. This video is about 6 minutes long. You'll probably want to stop it, complete the step you just saw, and then start it again during the setup process. And when you do that, the whole process is going to take about 15 minutes. Remember that if you have any problems, call us. Unpack your box first. You should find the intelligent control unit, a power supply, a mat applicator, a pillow pad applicator, and an SD card that's probably already in the control unit. If it's not there, it's in an envelope. If you have a complete system or a professional system, you'll have a zip-up box with the probe applicator inside. If you bought the iMRS, you'll also have another zip-up box with the finger sensor inside. And if you bought the iMRS, you'll also have a small zip-up bag with a mask inside. Earbuds are inside the mask. You'll get a manual too, but you won't need it if you watch these videos. So stop this video now and unpack your box. The first thing to do is plug everything in. Except for the iMRS, it's impossible to get things wrong because the shape of the plug on each device you need to plug in can only go into the right place on the control unit. There's never a need to force anything. If your SD card was in the envelope, put it with the label side up into the small slot on the front of the control unit. Be sure to push it in until it clicks and stays in. Next, be sure the power supply has the correct male adapter for the kind of electrical outlet you have. That's going to depend on the country you live in. The power supply is designed to work in different countries just by switching adapters, and the adapters click into place on the power supply. Then, plug the power supply into the wall outlet and into the control unit. The word power is on the control unit to the right of where you plug it in. Stop the video again and plug in the power. Next, plug in the mat and the pillow pad into the control unit. If you got a probe, you're going to need to plug that in too. There are 3 jacks on the back of the control unit to plug in the applicators. It doesn't matter which place you plug each applicator into. Any applicator will work correctly in any of the 3 possible jacks. Having said that, you should note that when you turn the control unit on, it will automatically select the applicator that's in the leftmost of the jacks you've used. Make sure the applicator you prefer to use the most is the furthest to the left. For most people, that's the mat. So, plug the mat into the left jack and the pillow pad and probe into the remaining jacks. Okay, stop the video and plug in all the applicators. Then, if you purchased the iMRS, plug in the finger sensor unit into the control unit. The easiest way to do that is to look at the finger sensor cable and see what the male plug looks like on the end of the cable. It's easy to see where that fits into the control unit. The word iMRS is to the right of where you plug it in. When you plug the iMRS in, you may need to rotate it slightly until it easily slides in. Never ever force it. Now stop the video again and plug in the iMRS if you purchased it. If you purchased the iMRS, we're not going to plug that in right now. Check the iMRS video to see what to do. Okay, now notice that there are 4 buttons directly below the display. I'll call these the programmable buttons. Some people like to call them the soft keys. Don't let that confuse you. Programmable buttons and soft keys both refer to the 4 buttons directly below the display. And directly below the programmable buttons are the membrane buttons. Now you're ready to turn on the control unit. You start the control unit by pressing the membrane button on the far left of the unit above the word power. Then for the rest of this setup, you're going to use the programmable buttons only. The display tells you what each programmable button does at the time you're using it. Okay, power up now. From this point on, stop the video whenever you need to. Be sure to follow along and set up your iMRS. As soon as the unit powers up, you see the contraindications. Hit the programmable button linked to the word Enter on the display. Next, you'll see iMRS, iMRS, and iGuide listed. Make sure everything you purchased is checked. If it isn't, give us a call. Then in a few seconds the display is going to change. It's automatic. Next, the main display screen appears. Now remember that. We call it the main display screen, and you're going to hear it in several of the other videos. So press the programmable button for setup. Now the main setup screen appears. In setup, first set up the clock. It's pretty much like setting up any digital clock. Make sure that the word clock is highlighted, and if it isn't, use the programmable keys with the arrows to move up or down until it is. Then hit the programmable key for the word enter. Now you see the time as hours, which is highlighted, and minutes. Use the programmable keys with the arrows to increase or decrease the hours until the hour for the correct time is visible. Now the time shown is in 24-hour time format. So for example, if the time is 2 p.m., you set the time to 14. When the hour is correct, hit the programmable key for enter, and the display will highlight minutes. Use the up arrow, down arrow, and enter keys, just like you did for the hours, to set the correct number for the current minutes. Once you hit enter, the main display appears again. Next, you need to set up the volume and the iMRS options. To do that, press the programmable key for setup. You already know how to use the up and down arrows, so highlight the word volume and hit the enter programmable key. Similar to setting up the time, use the up and down arrow programmable keys to set the percent volume. I suggest that you use at least 90%. Then hit the enter key. The main setup screen appears again. Hit the escape programmable key identified by the letters ESC to return to the main display screen. If you purchase the iMore or the ISLRS, you absolutely must take one more step. Hit the option programmable key. If you purchased iMore, make sure it's highlighted and then hit the enter programmable key. Then make sure on is highlighted and hit enter again. That activates your iMore. If you purchased ISLRS, make sure it's highlighted and hit enter. You may turn the music, tones, or goggles on or off. To set any of them, highlight the correct word and hit enter. Then highlight on or off and hit enter again. When you're finished with the 3 ISLRS options, hit the escape ESC key and return to the main display screen. That's it. You're completely ready to go. In another video, we'll show you how to start your first PEMF session with the iMRS fully automated features. See you there.